Dear aspirants, you are listening to podcast Botany for Niche by S. Ramakrishna. Keep the NCRT textbook open with you. The topic plant growth in development and subtopic it is the development. In development, some of the changes from seed to senescence, that is seed germinate and develop into seedling, plantlet, plant, mature plant, that is a tree. As a tree having root, stem, leaves, flowers, fruits, seeds, ultimately it dies. So, some of the changes from seed to senescence is the development. In this development represented in case of the higher plant, the cell development that is applicable to tissues as well as organ. In text, according to the development given, cell that is meristematic cell, plasmatic growth that is vacuolation results in expansion. Differentiation leads to maturation. So the act leads to maturation is differentiation. So differentiation leads to maturation. That means the cell differentiate commensurate with the function it has to perform. Suppose it has to perform conduction of water, minerals to long distances. It is going to be elongated, develop strong lignocellulosic walls. Suppose it has to perform photosynthesis. It must have the intercellular spaces. So the cell attains the size and shape like this oval and polygonal so as to have intercellular spaces. So differentiation leads to maturation. And mature cell performs specific function. And senescence, aging, ultimately leads to death. That is the gradual development in case of the cell applicable to tissues as well as organs. And in case of the diagram, there is an arrow mark from plasmatic growth to meristematic cell. That indicates a parent cell divides into two progeny cell. One progeny cell expand, differentiate and matures. The other progeny cell able to divide, that is regain meristematic activity. Next. The plant follow different pathways during different phases of the life. In response to environment, it developed different structures. What do you call it is plasticity. So plant shows adaptations to optimize for growth and reproduction. Reason it is plant shows plasticity in development. The plasticity in development, it is irreversible. Suppose if you take rubber band, it is reversible. If you take the bubble gum, it is irreversible. So plant development is comparable to bubble gum, it is irreversible. So plant shows plasticity in development. What is the example for plasticity in development? That is, heterophily is example for plasticity development. What is heterophily? Different kinds of the leaves on the same plant. What do you call heterophily? The heterophily may be response to environment, maybe due to different phases of the growth of the plant, or maybe right from the beginning, the two kinds of the leaves are present. If we take the buttercup, that is ranunculus, submerged leaves, that is leaves present in the water are dissected, is one kind, and aerial leaves, terrestrial leaves are of one kind. So different shapes of the leaves in case of ranunculus in response to environment, what do you call environmental heterophily or ecological heterophily. Next, developmental heterophily. Cotton, coriander, larkspur, it is also called delphinium. In these plants, leaves at juvenile stage are of one kind and adult stage are of different kind in different shapes. That is developmental heterophily. In case of habitual heterophily, right from the beginning, two kinds of the leaves are present. If we take Selacinella, small leaf as well as large leaf. So environmental heterophily, we can quote also the example Salvinia, pteridophyte, a free-floating hydrophyte having submerged leaves which compensate the absence of roots. So heterophily is example for plasticity. Next, Development, growth, and differentiation are closely related. And it is broadly development is the sum of the growth and differentiation. Growth is by cell division, cell elongation. Differentiation leads to maturation. So development that is the growth and differentiation under the control of intrinsic factor as well as extrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor, intracellular genetic, intercellular chemical, that is plant growth regulator. And external, light, temperature, oxygen, water, so different factors in case of external. So up to this, we completed the growth and development except the plant growth regulators. And I am signing off from this episode. And you will see in case of the next episode the growth regulators, that is the plant hormones.